So this is a great question and I think I can provide an answer. Making mixed succulent arrangements is one of the ways my nursery makes money. I have been doing this for a good decade and also have quite a few arrangements just sitting around our property. In this video, I'll try and answer this from my point of view as a grower and identify what to look out for when buying one or assembling a pot yourself. The term succulent covers a very diverse group of plants with different needs, and some prefer more water than others. This can be tricky if they're planted in the same pot. Because I've been growing succulents commercially for a long time, I know which ones can happily grow together and assemble my arrangements accordingly. In my opinion, the two most important things to consider are light exposure needs and watering needs. I also don't use succulents I know are difficult to care for. These would usually be some Echeveria cultivars that are particularly susceptible to water-related disease. This may all sound like arrangements are tricky as there are so many succulents on the market, but I think we can boil it down to one thing: leaf and stalk thickness. Generally, succulents with thicker leaves and stems can store more water, while those that are quite thin will require frequent watering. When they are all mixed in one pot, it could be a bit problematic, especially if certain difficult to grow Echeveria hybrids are included as well. Things like pot material may also play a role. For instance, unsealed terracotta pots will dry out super fast as they are porous and will absorb water. I've recently made a video on terracotta versus plastic pots and we'll link to it in the description. If you do end up buying a mixed pot with succulents that look incompatible, there are a couple of things you can do to help it survive. In my experience, you can make it work most of the time without disrupting the arrangement. When the weather is kinda mild and temperatures not higher than 30 degrees Celsius, you can water the whole arrangement when the potting mix looks dry. The thinner leaf succulents would probably prefer more water and can be a bit drier than the rest, but they should be fine. It is only once summer hits and temperatures climb that you may see the thinner succulents struggle and even die, especially if you live in a climate prone to heat waves. One option is to move the arrangement into a morning sun afternoon shade area or under shade cloth if you have one. This will slow down water loss and stress caused by the sun for those smaller plants. Another option is to target water the area where the thirstier plants are. This works surprisingly well with larger mixed pots. The last option is to simply remove the plants that will likely struggle and just fill in their root space with potting mix. The surrounding succulents should fill in that space in no time. Alternatively, you can replace with a more suitable succulent if you have one. In my opinion, one important thing to look out for are tiny plants like these. They will usually be sedums, some crusulas, and anything that looks a lot more dainty than the rest. Most chubbier succulents will grow together on the same watering regime, even if they are different like these. Another thing I would look out for are any spots that look like this. They can be a sign of edema or a fungal disease, which means that particular succulent is potentially water sensitive. One or two spots are not very significant, but a whole bunch of them could mean that particular succulent may struggle when it's raining and humid. Outdoor mixed pots should also have a drainage hole. If you are new to succulents or want to make a fuss-free arrangement, I would strongly recommend starting off with hardy types. I'll link a video with my favorite tough succulents in the description, but you can also Google for more names. Hardy succulents are likely to not be too fussy with drought, heavy rain or humidity and should happily grow together. Keep in mind they will change over time as the roots become root bound. You may see some leaf loss, certain plants taking over a bit and slower growth. But this is just the nature of having a mixed plant pot. If you have a bit of experience with succulents, making your own should be quite straightforward. You'll pretty much want to leave out anything that may require more water or succulents with small thin leaves. Or you can make a mixed pot with just those types of succulents. They look surprisingly good when they start to mingle. You'll also want to choose succulents with similar light requirements. I make succulent arrangements for sun and also for shade. And lastly, I'd leave out any succulents that may not like to be exposed to prolonged rain and humidity unless your pot is under cover where watering can be controlled. These would mostly be some Echeveria cultivars such as Romeo here, many frilly Echeverias and so on. And on that note, I think that's it for today. I hope this video was useful. You can let me know what you think in the comments and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching.